found this, and this was from Cointelegraph, right? And if anything, I mean, let's face it, there's a difference between crypto Twitter, what's reported, and there's also, of course, the difference of, what's mainstream news and so on. But, Cointelegraph, I think, for the most part, is not too shabby, right? I'll go with it. Bottom line is this. Why is XRP price up today, right? Some people are wondering about that. You see a random spike, you're like, well, what happened with that? We have some answers for that for you. So XRP's daily active address count has soared to its second highest level in May, raising traders' anticipation for a price rally. I saw some other reports the other day. I think even Larry mentioned it to me that, what was it? Zach Rector was reporting, we could get a resolution at any point. You saw some other outlets. I don't know if it was Verson, but, there's a collective group of quote unquote top influencers of the XRP army reporting that they feel as though this whole thing, this SEC case is going to wrap up soon. I know we've been saying that for a while. It's like, are we keep playing that song? Not like our theme song, but, singing a song. Is it the XRP song? Well, hear us out. In regards to this, it does seem like it's going to resolve soon. How soon will that be? Are some of these guys right? So before we get into all of this, did you know that XRP rose 6% to 51 cents on May 30th as the market's attention turned toward the latest spike in XRP network activity? And look what it says here from Sediment. It says basically XRP network has now had its second and third largest address activity spikes of all time, guys, these past 2 days. All time in the last 2 days? Is that not bullshit? I mean, if we get this thing a win for, Ripple, oh my goodness. People talk about like, even if you're not invested into Ripple, could this be the jump that we all need? And we're not even to the Fed pause yet. I know that I've been mentioning that quite a bit. We're not even to that. I mean, if this thing could be just right, oh my gosh, it'd be the perfect story. But as we know, things don't happen all on the same day. But like it says, a mild plus 4% decoupling has emerged between XRP and the altcoin pack. And if history repeats itself from March 18th, activity spike, it could be more. Kind of like Billy Mason back in the day. But wait, there's more, right? So you guys kind of see what's going on with that. We're going to point out some of those things. I also want to mention some of this. Did you know XRP's daily active addresses count near a record high, right? The XRP network witnessed a sudden increase in the daily active addresses, DAA, the number of unique addresses involved in XRP transactions daily. Now, I understand some new people, you're like, I don't know what DAA is, and it's okay. That's what, one thing we do. We report news, we report education, we give it to you all, right? So in regards to DAA, basically in a nutshell, if you're wondering what that means, it means daily active addresses. In short, is basically what's referred to. Now, as far as like the definition, DAA simply put means the number of unique crypto addresses interacting with, sending, or receiving a particular coin on a daily basis. As such, DAA is one of the best on-chain proxies for measuring the amount of users and the overall level of network activity, making it an extremely valuable indicator in cryptocurrency evaluation. Yeah, sounds pretty darn impressive. So what is this whole thing in regards to XRP? As we jump back to this, you will see, for instance, on May 27th, around 490,000 addresses, guys. Listen to this, especially if you hold Ripple's XRP, or you're a guy that, is kind of speculative on, you may only hold, like, for instance, XLM. We get it, right? Listen to this. Around 490,000 addresses interacted with the XRP network. Were you aware of that? That amounted to the second largest address activity on the XRP blockchain. We're making history right here. So this is big stuff. That amounted, I should say, to the second largest address activity on the XRP blockchain, just 3 months after establishing the record DAA count. Now that we know what it is, I did, but some of you guys might not have, and that's okay. Count of 880,000 according to Data Resource Admin. Here is a representation of just like what you saw what happened. March 18th, largest ever address activity spike, plus 45% price surge the following 10 days. I mean, there's always these moments, if you will, where you could see, for instance, a breakout. Now, there's a guy on crypto Twitter. I wasn't necessarily following him, I don't necessarily give you guys all the, technical analysis type of thing. I don't really do this, but we're going to get into what he found on some of his findings here in a bit. But look what also mentions, it's really impressive. Like I mentioned, second largest, right? Activity all time, 490,000 addresses interacting on network. You can see where some of this is pointed to. I mean, I know we have Edward Vincent here. He probably already recognizes this. Shout out to him. Does a good job on the TNA. But look at this. Interestingly, right? The DAA surged to a record high in March, like we mentioned, preceded a 45% price rally. But this is primarily, like it says, because of how the market interprets the DAA indicator. It considers a rise in active addresses as bullish for the concerned token, obviously XRP. Conversely, a drop in active addresses is considered bearish. But what I want to show you is this finding that I found on crypto Twitter. And this guy, his name is JD, right? I can't give him a follow because I guess I'm following like the max of what you can follow. So I have to clean it up. Well, check out what he mentioned. He says gasp. You're like, oh my gosh, right? Here's what you should pay attention to. Whether you hold XRP or you're on the cusp of getting it, or you're just, speculative about it. It says, let's remember what happened in 2017. Yes, let's think about that for a second. When the symmetric triangle 2-year trend line broke out. Now, this is why I'm bringing it to your attention. You guys know me. I don't normally do these types of things. This is important. This is worth paying attention to. XRP did a 504x, which took 1 year from confirmation breakout to that swing high of 2018. Ooh, oh my goodness. Were you aware of that? Well, some of you guys have been in XRP for the longest time. Yes, you are aware of that. Shout out to Samo Fudd. Shout out to, for instance, Crypto Smith. Some of the other guys have been holding this for the longest time. I have retweeted this. I have liked it, right? It's good stuff. I want to show it a little bit bigger because you need to see it a little bit bigger. And if anything, I'll come out of the frame for just a brief bit just to give you guys a little bit more of a heads up on this. Please smash that like. Let's get this show out to a broader base. But, basically speaking, I mean, there it is. Where is this significant? Look at where it's significant. I mean, you can see, and I'll try to make this even just that much more bigger. Give me just a second. Yeah, let's share this tab instead. And on this, right? Like, my God. It's unbelievable. It says gas. Let's remember, like you said, what happened back in 2017. We cover this, but that 2017 trend line, 2-year trend line, like how it broke, then boom, 504x in 1 year. Look at this on this trend line too. 2-year trend line breaking. That's basically what's going on. Once triangle breaks, is go time. Yeah, absolute go time. You know what's also go time, you guys? The whole thing with the Fed pause. I'm telling you flat out, if we can get I always say this, the crypto trifecta. This is a different trifecta. We get a Ripple win. We also get a Fed pause, right? And we get this trend line completely breaking. It's just going to be unbelievable. This, heads will spin or faces will melt, or, I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller, but I do recognize what's going on. It says make sure to calculate profits on the way up. I don't know. For me personally, I mean, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. A lot of people are going to take some profits. There's nothing wrong with this. I will agree for the most part with most people, and that is don't marry your crypto. You're always hearing that, right? For me personally, XRP, Quant, XLM, those types of ones, right? I may marry it for a very, very long time. But why would I do that? Because if anything, I will earn interest in the future. And that's just the way I look at it. I'm not saying I don't want to come across as a content creator like some of the top influencers. You know who they are. The guys back in, who made a ton of money with Shiba Inu. And they basically told, their following, I never sold a single token. Really? At all times? Why aren't you selling some tokens? Why aren't you taking some profit? That's a different thing. That has currently not much utility at all. Right, we're trying to get Shibarium. This is XRP we're talking about. So we're going to leave this up here for a bit. Very, very cool stuff to see what's going on with Ripple's XRP. We're still going to talk a little bit more about XRP. It's definitely making the headlines. Let's get into this for a brief bit. Verson says institutional utility of XRP is on the horizon, and this will shatter price barriers and propel this digital asset to unimaginable heights. That's the way I personally look at it. You know, like, I'm not telling you what to do. By all means, if you're the type of person you want to take profits along the way, do that. I'm not taking profits at $1 for XRP. I'm not taking profits at $10. That's me personally. Please do not let me, as a influencer, content creator, what do you want to call it, prevent you because you're like, well, Max said that he's not doing this, so I'm not going to do, my gut or whatever. You got to do what's best for you. Again, we're all adults. We got to do what's, for our best interest, for our family and so on. For me, like I said, there's about maybe 3 or 4 different cryptocurrencies where I'm somewhat married to, but that's just me. And that might be some of you, but I realize for the majority of people, they're not going to do that. Okay. For me, being invested into about 47 to 50, again, I have to count at different cryptocurrencies, it alleviates the pressure of, hey, I have to dump all this, right? Because, for instance, like Filecoin, right? I got plenty of Filecoin. So if it goes up to new all-time highs, which I do believe it will, and supersedes that, I'm more than good. There's some other projects that I'm more than good on. You know what I mean? Like Jasmine, for instance. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to, marry Jasmine. Maybe partially, like I'll have a moon bag. But yeah, you better believe at $1, I'm going to take profits when it comes to Jasmine. Anyway, let's get back to this. So institutional utility of XRP is on horizon, and this will shatter price barriers and propel this digital asset to unimaginable heights. XRP network activity hits record-breaking levels, mega rally ahead, and we pointed out some of this. If you guys were late on that, you can rewind if you choose to do so. But I'm glad Verson is bringing it, the information. So let's get into a little bit more of what he has. So he points out that the ECB is warning that financial institutions could see stressed liquidity due to heightened economic uncertainty. XRP is going to play a crucial role in providing a bridge to overcome the challenges faced by financial institutions. Again, what are some of those challenges of financial institutions? Well, here is something that got brought up, and I want to give this lady a shout out. It's Randy of, she is My Teen Crypto. She's basically not a teenager anymore, but she's a lovely young lady, very passionate about talking about crypto. She's been featured on 3T Warriors Academy before too. But one thing I do like about this girl is that she pointed out something very worth pointing out. And, what was it like? I think a little bit last week or so on when I was doing some, work with teaching and so on, you hear, for instance, in a break room, somebody that says, they don't believe in crypto. It's all a scam and all that. And like, they're like a big proponent of, I'm just going to keep, I couldn't believe it. I'm just going to keep my money in the bank. And I had to speak up in regards to that. I said to myself, really, you have to keep your money in the bank? Well, how about this for size? All right. I don't mean no disrespect, but it's like, you're really going to keep your money. Don't get me wrong. I think we should all have a checking account because we have bills to pay, right? We're going to use fiat, right? But it's like, you're really going to keep your trust into a system, a failed system, right? The old traditional system. That old traditional system, we talk about proof of reserves. They don't have to have proof of reserves, everybody. You guys probably already know this, right? So it's like, they're literally, a lot of banks are operating off of, let's face it, like credit, or, the hope and prayer that, that they have vaults full of cash. In reality, that they don't. You know what I mean? It's just, it's crazy. But in crypto, as we know, when it comes to these exchanges, well, what are they providing? They're providing some proof of reserves. And I know some people say, well, that's debatable, right? I get that. But with this whole concept of regulatory clarity and so on, you better believe that we're getting to the point where these exchanges will have to show actual proof of reserves. It's funny how we have a double standard. You're going to put trust in the old, TradeFi system that doesn't have to have these proof of reserves. Exactly. All right. So XRP is going to play a crucial role. We know that, right? It's just a matter of time. But anyway, ECB sounds warning over waning market liquidity as rates rise. Market and funding liquidity conditions are both deteriorating. They are. Central bank balance sheet reduction is an additional challenge. It is. Like this guy says, it's just a matter of time until the XRP outperforms every asset out there. And we've seen people like FOMO in to, for instance, Bitcoin. People just don't know anything about crypto. No offense to them and so on, right? But FOMO money generates just what? a lot of money to boost market cap and so on. All right, I want to show you guys just a tad bit more of what we have on top of this, and that is a little bit more for XRP. You may be wondering, well, why is XRP dominating? Because it's doing really well lately in the market, and it's worth dominating the show. We do have obviously other coverage for you guys. Again, smash that like if you haven't done so already. I want to jump into this and shout out to the one and only John Deaton, right? So I would give him a follow, but like right now, it basically won't let. Can you believe that Twitter won't let me follow anybody because I'm maxed out like 5,000? I got to fix that. So, dear SEC Gov and commissioners who voted yes for the bogus lawsuit versus Ripple and XRP, if Fox Business is 100% right, the vote was 3-2 with Hester Pierce, who's this guy right here, or this lady, I should say, SEC commissioner since 2018, right, and Elad Roisman voting no. Below is one of the amazing people you turned your back on and harmed, and why it's easy for me to get emotional, or why it is easy for a lot of us to get emotional, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong. Like, eventually it's kind of like this, right? We're going to get to the goals that we need. We're going to get to the life-changing money that we need. That's the way I personally look at it, right? It's not financial advice, but just how I personally look at it. You see, for instance, Hollywood movie stars or so on, maybe they cry because they're bored, or a guy wins his first NBA championship. You guys know I'm a big fan of NBA basketball, right? It's an emotional time. You know what? I think we're going to have some of these emotions. I'm just throwing that out there, in the future, because it's like the struggle that you've gone through your whole life to get from, especially me. I grew up, I love my parents, but you know what? We did live in, like, I guess you could say, was classified as poverty. My dad was a very, very hardworking man, but he was a single income provider when we were growing up and so on. But the key thing is, for a lot of us, we want that financial freedom. We want to have a better life for ourselves, our parents, if they're still alive, our kids, and so on. It's going to be emotional, right? So it says basically right here, dear Mr. Deaton and team, I recently had the honor of shaking your hand in Las Vegas at the XRP conference. We know that was an expensive event, right? It just happened. Brad Garlinghouse was there. A lot of people were there. I'm one of the many XRP holders who are greatly appreciative of the efforts you have expended on our behalf. Without your work on this case, I would truly feel alone and helpless in this fight against a bully that I would have no chance to defeat if it weren't for the initiative that you took when you saw such an overreach by the SEC. No matter how this case ends, we'll be forever grateful for your leadership in the fight. Sincerely, of course, they're blocking out probably because the person that won't be doxxed, XRP holder, Lexington, Kentucky, right? And it's like, that makes you so happy to see some of these things, right? At least it is for me. So I'm going to play something for you guys, and here it is. And this is just, it's not going to show you like why XRP is going to go to $100 or more, 1,000, and some of these crazy price predictions. But if anything, we need this, right? So smash that like. This is the one and only John Deaton. This is only about slightly under 2 minutes. Here we go. We're going to play this.
There is a difference when, decentralized justice is great. And you all, the XRP community, have been great. And when you have tens of thousands of people and you get emails, it's one thing. But Brad, at that conference, and I could get a bit emotional about this because it's sincere to me. When you have a 75-year-old woman, grandmother, come up to you and say, "Can I shake your hand?" Because I just thank you for fighting for us, for trying to give us a voice. And when you meet people like that over and over again, ranging from 18 years old to one lady in a wheelchair at 82, who came up to me to extend some level of gratitude, man, it's a different level. And it inspired me tremendously, because these people these are hardworking people. Most of them are non-accredited investors. Some of them are developers who are just trying to advance their life and take advantage of this and change the world. And we have a government who's stepping on their neck, you know what I mean? And who's trying to prevent that. and is not doing the right thing. And so I just want to say thank you to you. I want to say thank you to everyone out there that came up to me. Like, you touched me. It was the most humbling event that I've ever experienced, because deep down, you know, you're not as good as everybody's claiming you are, or that you know how flawed you are as a human being. Right. And to experience that, so it overwhelmed me. And so
all right, so it gets chopped off because it's, you know, crypto Twitter gets in 2 minutes, but you get the main point. And it's wonderful to see things like this. At least I think so.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have not yet subscribed, do yourself a favor and subscribe for more information on the ISO 222 compliant tokens, and hit the notification bell to make sure that you are aware of the new videos when they come up. Max and I cover these ISOs, and we also have a live show every single night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you tune in for that. You won't want to miss it. Thanks again, and we will see you on the next video.